What's up? And welcome to tonight's stream. It's Tuesday, it's a new week. It's nice. It's nice. Lots and lots and lots of things have happened this week, and I'm kind of tired from it all, but it's good kind of tired. Because my head is bubbling over with information, and I'm kind of baffled that we are where we are at as humanity right now. And I'll get more into that. I'll try to communicate what I'm thinking in the best possible way. Disclaimer, I am kind of tired. My brain is kind of fried. If you are watching this, ask questions, please. That will help me try to navigate this better. I will just turn off my phone. For some reason, I forgot to turn that on silence. So, the thumbnail in this stream is kind of an elusive one, I guess. 1984! Is it here? Or something? Is it upon us? Something. You see, 1984, for those of you who don't know, is a novel of George Orwell. And he's talking about a society of dystopian nature, like where everything is just controlled and we have no saying in anything, and everyone is just robots walking around trying to live what they would perceive as a life. Apple used this commercial when they launched, and they were kind of, sticking it to the man. They were trying to break out of the cast of society. Today, I'm horrified when I'm talking to people about this, because most people have their opinions. And the thing about opinions is that everyone has one, and it is often questionable where that opinion comes from. Because the way I see it, and the way I was actually given, I guess, this is not my sentence, and I think it is a very beautiful sentence, and that everyone should think about this sentence. Most people would have an opinion based about what they see. So they will see something on the news, they will see something on social media, they will see something that was being told to them or whatever, and that is their opinion. Their opinion is basically just a regurgitation of something they've heard. The other thing is understanding something, having an opinion or a understanding of a subject because you went a little deeper. You went around and you saw the information for more than what was presented to you, and you tried to make sense of it your way. And you continued until it made sense. So here's what I'm going to try to explain in the best way possible. Basically, I'm seeing the future of my children fading away every day. Because every day I'm getting sent new information, I'm getting new documents to look at, new website to check out, new seminars to view, and all that stuff. And this week, I've actually gone deep into the United States Patent Office, because that is something that I normally do. See, the situation that we're in right now have a lot of questions tied into it. Everyone has some sort of a... Basically, this is what I think is happening. This is what I think happened. This is where I think it came from, right? It's proven. We know from patented documents and traces in economics and big-ass companies going through years of sifting data to try to figure out where this all came from. The current situation right now, which is going to get me banned from every freaking social media platform out there, probably. This is the front lines. We are fighting something that many people don't even realize that we're fighting. Many people choose to take the jab, take the vaccine, just because they're being told. Every week there's a new variant. Every week there's something new that pops up that is more dangerous than the last. And every week we're getting fed with so much statistics, so many horrible news about what would happen if you don't do this, if you don't do that. And people are walking around in fear. As I've mentioned before, people are actually driving around in their cars alone with their frickin' masks on. Fear ruins your immune system. That's one thing. And we could go in we could make an entire episode on how epigenetics and how everything makes it so that if you're scared over a long period of time, you ruin your immune system. Fear also makes you do irrational things, like being stuck with something that you don't really know what is. And right now, we know that it is a sequence of 40,000 different parts. Let's say it like that. I have no idea how to explain the intricate components of a vaccine. But the thing is, it's all the same thing. If you go into it and you have to study it, you have to go in and actually check it. You have to see the patent, and then you have to make the test for your own, and then you have to make sure that it is aligning with the test to see if it's the thing that is patented. The patent came out before the pandemic. Before this even happened, there was filed patents on this. It was mentioned in 2015. It was mentioned in 2008. It was happening. Moderna created vaccines for this before it even broke out. So that is one thing. And this is all traced back. This is all documented. Everyone can go and check that out. Currently, I'm creating a resource page because I know that people will not sift through hours upon hours of videos and documents and everything. So I'm going to create a page where the video is, where this authoritative person, this scientist, this researcher, and this team of freedom fighters are talking about this, where they're listing actual patented addresses where you can go and check out these patents for yourself to actually see, to trace it back, to see what's happening. And when I saw that every single variant is basically just another frame of the same sequence that has been around since ever, and that we're just doing what it's being told all the time, where in 2015 they actually said that they wanted to create mass hysteria. They wanted to create fear. If they got the media on board, it would be easy. And then if they just keep pushing it, they needed a pan-corona medical something science. They wanted to have a vaccine that they could push out to the people. That's happening right now. Right now. And people are dying. I actually know someone very close to the family that took this the 29th of July and is now lying there fearing and fighting for their life. The plan was always to get the people jabbed, to get this stuff into our system. And I'm horrified that people are just taking this without really looking into it. I believe that everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone, oh, Chris, good to have you, bro. Everyone can make their own choices. Everyone can do what they please. But please, for the sake of everything holy, do some research. Don't just push something into you because someone told you so, because the people that told you so don't even know what the heck they're doing. They have no idea. Even CDC are listing things that is not scientifically backed. We are listening to things that is just part of a propaganda-fueled agenda that is just makes no sense at all. I read the book of the dude that I cannot remember the name of for the love of everything. The guy that wrote about this in 2008 or 2018, he basically wrote the entire sequence of everything that was going to happen, and it happened. Simply because that was based on a virus, right? They follow these scenarios, and look and behold, here we are. Now, everyone thinks that we are fearing a virus. What, in actuality, we're fearing something a lot bigger than that. We're fearing fear itself because we are fueled with the fear and we're making irrational choices because of fear. And right now, because of all this fear, they're making decisions in the back of the room, in the curtains, in the shadows. Right now, the reason this is titled as it is, there is a new law being pushed, and Tucker Carlson was the first one to talk about this. And on Saturday, a emergency broadcast broke out, where they're talking about a law in the US that says that every new car needs to have facial recognition and a breathalyzer so that they can see if you are who you are, or see who you are, so that they know where you are, see if you're drunk or if you're angry before you get into the car. and they will never let you go, basically. Now you can't do anything. You can't even start your car without them knowing where you are. And then I'm not going to say this for sure, but there was something about travel fees, something about you have to pay in order to travel around more than now. I mean, there's road tax, there's all of these toll booths, there's so many fees and taxes all over the board, and now they're actually introducing more just for you to move around. So, I'm kind of baffled that this is even happening right now. Not really because of it happening, but because of the mass amount of people not seeing what is actually happening. Because we've had people saying that this was going to happen for a long time. That people in power will continue to stay in power, they will not relinquish that power, and they will try to stay on top. They will try to get more power. Klaus Schwab, frickin' non-smiley douchebag who wants to basically create slaves out of everyone. He's not even hiding it. He actually wrote a book about it. I'm baffled. I'm simply baffled. So, for the last few videos, I've been saying that we need a way to communicate, because I'm going to start to push these things out way more in blog posts and videos and posts on social media just to see how far it goes. And then I'll probably be deleted from all of the social media platforms. And if that happens, then I'm gonna try to make something happen regardless. So if you go to the fmlproject.com/enter, you will have the option to choose whatever topic that you want to follow. If you go into that, regardless of the topic you chose, we'll be able to communicate. We'll be able to continue this. Because whether it is on YouTube, whether it is on Facebook, or wherever it is, I will continue to try to get this out there, to share this, to really shout this from the rooftops. Because if it's not the whole cloaking of psychedelics and the life-altering effects that it could have, or the I tried to use a word that I don't really know is, where they try to take our freedoms away. Because let's face it, first of all, most of the people have been in lockdown for so freaking long that they've forgotten how to be social. Now, if you put a bird in a cage, you're ruining the entire reality of the bird. It's meant to fly. It's meant to be free, right? If you're putting it in a cage, you kind of rob it from the one thing that it was evolved to do. When you're locking people in their apartments for a long period of time, that is basically exactly the same thing. You're robbing the people from their freaking will to just move, to be free, to go around, to be with other tribesmen and other people. We are tribal people. We live in communities, but our modern era have just individualized us to the point where we're just numbers that just go into a certain category and then probably on some watch list, and then try to just keep us down as much as we can. I mean, in Norway, as I've said before, we have this perfect system. We think everything is just beautiful. Where we're getting money for not doing anything. Where people can sit on their asses, and if they feel like it, they can just say that I don't want to work. I feel like I'm kind of anxious. I don't want to be around people. And they will get money from the government because they're now disabled. Like, this just, it goes against me a lot, because time where I tried to get disability. A lot. It was basically the thing that was going to save my family. So that's the only thing that I tried to get. I tried everything. I went to the doctor. I went to the government. Everyone said that, yeah, you should definitely get disability because your arm is fucked up, right? My arm is kind of a mess, right? Because I had a blood clot. So I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even get dressed. And still, they just dragged me through the bureaucratic system, and they messed up my mental health. They messed up my physical health. They messed up everything. So I had to take those matters into my own hands. And when I got out of the other side, I saw what invisible prison that I've been in. The government basically sitting up there on their pedestal saying that we are your savior. We're going to make sure that you live an okay life. Giving you just enough to survive, and you're happy. You won't do anything. right? And if everyone in a state is like that, there's going to be no problem controlling them because they are just happy as long as they get what they want. But take that away from them, and they see the system for what it is. And they start doing some research that is not part of the narrative, and you have a little rebellion going on. Because we are living in a very technologically advanced age where we cannot see anything that is not being fed to us unless we know what to look for and actually look for it. That's how it is. We are fueled by an algorithmic reality, and most people are sitting there scrolling, following other people's lives instead of trying to make sure that they are living their best life themselves. Not held back by anxiety and depression and all those things, that limiting beliefs, right? Thinking that I can't do this because, and if I do this, I might lose the government aid. I don't want to do that. So they were just kept in place. It's time to kind of move away from this whole thing. We are never going to go back to the way things were. We have moved into a new era. And if we don't watch ourselves, if we don't speak up right now, we will not have any control over our lives in this new era. Right now, we're on the forefront. We are on the tipping point. Right? If the rumors are true, which I truly hope they're not, something huge is going to happen tomorrow. The 11th of August, 2021, something huge is going to happen. I really hope it doesn't. So let's just hope that we're good on the 12th. Then we're going to see what happens, right? Chris, you can't go to the gym or restaurant if you don't have a card or document to prove that you have been vaccinated in New York City. It will eventually spread across the globe. Exactly. See, if the narrative, this makes a lot of sense, if the narrative is to make everyone vaccinate themselves, and if this vaccination brings about a new technology, let's say it's mRNA, right? Let's say they are introducing some kind of protein that over time will start to develop its own culture, and that culture will just continue to eat away on their cells. And those who have had this will slowly but surely die. And then maybe someone will have a quicker effect and die within days, which we've seen happen time and time again. I mean, there are groups, there are pages, there are support websites, there are so many things going on right now where people are saying, this is what happened to me when I took the vaccine, and I'm not happy about it because I died. I'm seeing, and the reasons, the rationale behind why people are taking this is simply because they didn't have a choice. I know a person who is basically he's playing in a band, right? He is supposed to be on tour and playing around on concerts and festivals, but in order for him to keep his job, he needs to get vaccinated. My dad is a paramedic. He needed to get vaccinated to stay in the job. Teachers need to get vaccinated to keep their jobs. So in Norway, they're really nice. They say that you don't have to take the vaccine. You're not forced to. But if you don't, we're going to remove all the liberties that you have. We're going to remove everything that you think is a normal life, and you're just going to have to deal with it. I have a beautiful quote that I want to read for you because I saw this and it actually got sent to me. If you have to be persuaded, reminded, pressured, lied to, incentivized, coerced, bullied, socially shamed, guilt-tripped, threatened, punished, and criminalized, if all this is considered necessary to gain your compliance, you can be absolutely certain that what is being promoted is not in your best interest. I would say that right now, that is exactly what's happening. We're being bullied into submission. We are being manipulated to the point where people think that it is true. Why is there so many flies in here right now? And most people don't see that they are being manipulated. They don't see that they're losing their life just from not doing anything. Just by complying. Just by saying, okay, sure, what could happen, right? There's been so many cases of this not going right for them. But what could happen? It will never happen to me, right? I trust my government, and they do it. I mean, when a company starts to develop a vaccine for a pandemic that has not even been released yet, some flags should pop up in people's heads. enough to not take the vaccine until it's been through proper trials, at least. Because right now, this is the biggest human experiment that the world has ever seen. I mean, I can't believe that not more people are seeing this. Is it because they don't really know what it takes to create a vaccine? Is it because they don't really know how strict it has to be in order to force something upon a trial and get it to human trials? You know, in the patent that was created before all this, for vaccines, for the corona vaccine, it said that for the emergency authorized use, there has to be no other alternative. We know that there are other alternatives. There has been so many doctors saying that this happened, I used this, it worked. What do you know? But they're never mentioned. Not in the media. If they are mentioned in social media or everywhere else, they will be shadow banned, they will be cloaked, they will be removed, they will be banned from the entire social network. Why? Shouldn't that be a little concern for people? That people speaking up, and most likely these people have some experience, right? Because if they want to risk their entire reputation, being in the job for 30 plus years, don't you think they have something to add to the conversation? And then they just get taken down, and then the media just continues to sprout the fear and sprout this negativity all over the place? Shouldn't that be just a little flag? See, I'm questioning the critical thinking of people. The people who's watching this, they tend to be free thinkers. You tend to have some thoughts of your own. Some thoughts of freedom, some thoughts that is not aligned with the people around you. Maybe you've been called a black sheep. Maybe you've been called the oddball. Maybe you are the one that is not like everyone else, right? In a world full of black people, you are the red one. Who knows? I think you're here because you have these thoughts that makes you able to see things a little differently. See that we are all part of a one global tribe, that we should kind of cooperate to try to make sure that our future is better than our past. Instead of just repeating the same old pattern, just making it even worse the next time we're getting to it. Right? I created the FML project because I needed to have freedom for myself. That's how it started. Just freedom in my mind because I was stressed the heck out. I was trying to survive, trying to figure out solutions in a chaotic situation. I was trying to do a lot of things. So I needed freedom in my mind. And I achieved that. I needed freedom in my location. I needed freedom from a boss telling me where to be at a specific time. And I achieved that. I needed financial freedom. I'm going to not lie. I have not achieved that yet. But we're going there, right? I needed freedom to be me, to live how I choose. And even if I was dirt poor right now, I have more freedom than most people working their asses off 9 to 5. Being told what to do, coming home, turning on the news, and just seeing the propaganda being fed. Going to the work, talking to their coworkers, hearing the propaganda being fed to them every day on repeat. This builds a reality. It builds and it creates this new thing that you see your life through. It's a new perspective, a new lens to watch reality. And sometimes it's not good because if you're just basing your life on that, it's not good. But I don't have to tell you that because if you're here watching this, you don't see the world like that. You know that we are capable of having freedom, to be feeling love, to act as your authentic self, to be you. Not having to listen to the propaganda and shoot yourself up with shit that we don't even know what is. I'm getting all kind of worked up on this. Right now I'm trying to build out the system behind all of this. I'm trying to figure out a way to communicate with people more efficiently because I've seen that what I have to teach is now vital. So I want to give that away for free. I want to give it away for free in the best way that I can. So I've created a newsletter or an email list where I will try to create weekly things upon the topic. Let's say that is psychedelics. Well, let's say that you need to know more about psychedelics. What is it? What can I do for me? What can I do to be safe while using them? Whatever it is. I want to create a step-by-step thing that could take you from zero to, I'm not going to say expert, but hopefully knowing enough to know what you're doing. The same thing goes for freedom. The same thing goes from online business. I'm trying to create these things that is going to take people from not knowing shit to doing something that is going to set them free. Because right now, I think it's freaking necessary. I think that if people don't do it, we are fucked. I think that if people don't see that they have a choice, if I can't make people see that everyone can do something that they want to do instead of being fed the narrative, instead of having a job where they're forced the vaccine, instead of having to do something that other people tell them to do, you can actually make your own path. You can take your skills, your experience, everything that you've gone through that is unique to you. Nobody else in this world has what you have, and you can help other people with that. If you have something that you love to do, you probably know more about that than the next person. You can help people with that. You just need to know how, and that's what I want to teach people. I want to give them the power so that they don't have to fear anything. The quote I love to say, I want you to give you the faith in your own wings that you don't fear the broken branch that you're standing on. Because right now, the moment in history right now is so monumental that I have issues trying to contemplate the fact that I'm in it. And I'm not sure how many people see it like this. I mean, when Martin Luther King was talking on this podium, I'm not sure he really realized how huge that was. When the people started to protest against the Vietnam War, I don't think they realized how huge that was. We're in that monumental, pivotal point in history where stuff is happening so huge now because of the internet that has never been happening before. And we have the power to voice our opinion. We have the power to share ideas with people on the other side of the planet, which is magic. We can use this for more than the asses on Pornhub or whatever people use them for. You know, you can learn anything you want from these things, and people don't see it because there's so much information that you really don't know where to look if you don't know exactly what to look for. It's a curse of knowledge. We are in that technological age where we have too much. But if we know where to look, if we have the people who just wants us to be free, we can actually get there. Holy crap, that became a rant. I'm sorry about that. Chris, let's see. A lot of people are now building their own businesses more than ever. Yes, because now a 14-year-old from Idaho can make $1 million from not doing shit. I'm going to make it one better. An 8-year-old from somewhere in the US made $11 million in 2017. Or was it 11 million crowns? I don't know. It's a lot of money for an 8-year-old to open up toy boxes. It should say something about the capabilities of what we have today. And people might say, but I'm too old. I don't know how technology works. You can talk. If you know how to talk and read, you're golden. You might say, I'm not technologically inclined. You can learn. If you can create a cake, if you can follow a recipe to create a cake, then God, by golly, you can make a website. If you have every step of the ladder to do. If you have something to, okay, do this, do that, do this, you'll have this. If you say that you can't, I mean, that's just a limiting belief. I'm not sure why you're trying to limit yourself like that, but if you don't want to even try, that's kind of where we need to see if there's a problem. Because there's no excuses right now. If people are sitting at home complaining about what they have in their life, I'm sorry, there's no freaking excuses. I sold my car in parts because I needed to feel poor. I needed to know how it felt to really build myself from the bottom up. And yesterday, literally yesterday, I was told that, holy shit, I've seen what you've done without money. With your knowledge, when you get money, I can't even imagine what's going to happen. And to be honest, neither can I. Because all of this has happened without any money whatsoever. And if you knew the system behind all this is freaking huge. It happened without money. I had no idea where to start. I had no idea what to do. I have been a sex chat operator. I've done everything. And if I can do it, having my history, everyone can do it. Especially if you have people wanting you to succeed and wanting you to get there. And I'm not going to do this whole See, I have a problem, and I'm going to make this clear right now. There's a huge epidemic going on right now. The epidemic and the pandemic, right? A lot of people are building businesses. Yes. You will see a lot of ads of gurus saying that it is easy, saying that in 90 days you can make $1,000,000, whatever it is. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. They're selling the exact same system that they're giving you. You're watching the thing that they're selling you, basically. You come in there and they're going to tell you to do exactly what they say. Most people will do this because they took a course and they're just reselling whatever information they got from the course, right? There is no originality. There's no alignment with your soul. There's nothing to make it you. If you don't succeed going from their way, their exact procedure, they just say that, well, you didn't do what I told you, so your loss. And they're charging $2, $3, $4, $5, $20,000 for crap. I hate that. I want to be the one that is actually doing something different in this industry. I want to keep people in a place of hope, to give them what they need to create something that they can actually live from. That's why I'm creating this for free. Of course, there's going to be some things. If you need personal help with this, of course, I have services like everyone else. But I'm not going to sell you anything that you can't use right away. I'm going to give you everything for free. thefmlproject.com/enter. And you can just choose. It's not really done right now, so I'm just plugging it before I get taken down from social media. But I'm going to make sure that the epidemic, the people, the gurus, all those people trying to front this, it's easy, the hustle mentality, the instant gratification nation, all that shit that goes on right now, taking the profits away from the table. Now it's about survival. Now it's about creating impact and helping other people be free so that they don't have to listen to the narrative. They don't have to go in and take the vaccine to keep a fucking job, to keep a job that makes you probably not do what you want to do during life. I mean, if you're going to the work and you don't really love it, then in 2021, that should not happen, in my opinion. We are a new race. Everything has changed. Everything has changed. We don't have to settle anymore. But how to tell that to people who don't want to change? Because I can tell you this. I can tell you everything about everything that I know, and I will sound like a freaking nutbag. I will sound like a crazy person. Because it took time to learn all these things. But you know what? At the end of the day, my head was the problem. It was me not believing I was worth it. It was me not believing that I had any value. It was me not believing that this would work, so I didn't even try. It was all these things that kept me back, but it was my head. If you are able to write sentences and fulfill those sentences and act from a place of your passion and knowledge, then you can do it. It takes some work, yes, but you can do it. You can go out from the frickin' prison that most people settle within. Whew. All right. These fake gurus are just giving shortcuts to success, but the truth is there is no shortcut to success. These people are most likely, and I've seen this, you can check this out. If you see a ad on Facebook, or if you see a guru on Facebook, I will say 7 out of 10 times, go into their cover picture if they're saying that they're a guru, or if they say that they are a marketer, or if they're saying they help with a certain thing. Check out when they uploaded that photo and then go back. See when the normal photo stopped and that photo began. Because most likely, they're trying to get you on when they're not even launched. I mean, you have people promising you 10K months before even launching anything themselves. So you have overweight fitness gurus trying to tell you how to be fit. Does not work. Authenticity and value is the one thing that is actually still valid. When you actually want to help people, people feel that. People can see that because you don't have to read from a freaking script. And that's what most people do these days. They just practice a script and then they go off and they try to convince people that this is how it works. But it doesn't have to be like that. We don't have to be in a prison. I'm not sure what is going to happen in 5 years, 2 years. Heck, with the freaking velocity that is happening with now, I'm not sure how this is going to look in 1 year, 2 months. You see, right now, humanity is going to shift, and a lot of people are going to feel the pain. Lots of people have already felt the pain. but it's coming. More of it. If this is actually part of an agenda, and I'm not saying that it is, but the freaking evidence, the proof is in the pudding. It's happening right now. You can see that it is already unfolding. If it continues, if it follows the same prophecy, if the things that they're saying is true, holy freaking shit, I'm gonna be self-supplied on this plot of land, and I'm gonna make sure that people can. I'm gonna make a community, basically. I'm trying to get some land and then just build some huts, and then people can come in from all over the world and then move to a place where, you know, live off the land, live off nature. No cell phones allowed. Oh, we are the luckiest, unhappiest generation. Yes, that's so weird. It's so weird. We've never been in such a place, yet we have never had so many unhappy and depressed and anxious people. So many people. I'm sorry, I have to drink. I can feel my passion has made my mouth dry, and now I'm trying to talk over my tongue. But yes, we have people trying to live their life as they think other people wants them to live their life. They're putting on the mask of what they believe other people want their mask to look like. Instead of just being authentic, just living your truth, just saying what you mean, just being you. That's taboo today. You can't talk about feelings. If you're hurt, if you're let down, if you're struggling, you can't talk about it. And if you're a man, oh, well, then you're gonna have to be the freaking definition of godlyhood, right? Even if you're like not. Just taking selfies in the gym, right? Adding a whole bunch of contrast and clarity to those things. Just being something that you're clearly not. We can't talk about the fact that we're human beings with human emotion, just trying to make life worthwhile in this modern world driven by social media and advertisements that is gonna be pushed on you by algorithmic realities. You know, click like on one page and you have it going. Mention the word hammock and you'll have ads up the wazoo from all the wildlife, the trip, adventure stores, right? You have everything so intimately on you. You have no personal life anymore. And they're going to continue to do that. No wonder we're fucked up. But we should be able to talk about things. We should be able to talk about real things. Right? I mean, I cry every single time I watch Frozen 2. That movie is freaking amazing. Frozen 2. They have some songs that just really explains things. You know? I'm not ashamed to admit it. I mean, if I feel an emotion, I would rather go into that emotion, get over it, transmute it into something better. Be aware of the emotion. If I feel anger, if I feel depressed, if I feel sad, whatever it is, I can backtrace it. What thought elicited this emotion? Well, let's think about this. Let's see it. Let's experience it a little bit. Let's cry if we need to. And then let's see if we died. And if we don't, well, then it's probably not something that is going to kill us anyway. So that maybe we can just continue to do whatever that we were doing before, right? Something good, hopefully. I mean, it's not that hard. The Buddhists had it going for a long time. Every religion is talking about it. Peace and love, all those things. Of course, we know that it's not that easy, but we're getting there, aren't we? All right, I've been talking for 45 minutes. I was supposed to do less. But for some reason, when I'm talking to that camera, when I'm seeing you, Chris, I feel something. You know, Terence McKenna said something that is really interesting, and I want you to really ponder this before I go off. What if most of the time you're not really thinking, you're listening? Think about that. It's like kind of an extension to the whole, where are your thoughts when you're not thinking about them? Because I've had some cosmic downloads lately, and it's been kind of interesting to all of a sudden have a thought that I really did not think that I had, and I can't really recall where it came from, but it happened, and I was thinking really hard about it, and then I see Terence McKenna. What if your thoughts more of you hearing, listening, than you thinking? Whew. Blew my mind. Blew my mind. All right, express the emotion, not bottle it inside. Exactly. Watch The Simpsons. You have this boil because it just don't keep it inside. It's gonna ruin you. That's like I'm saying that communication is the key, right? If you're having a relationship, if you're having a partnership in the business, if whatever it is, communication. Express what you're thinking or what you're feeling so that the other person knows, and then you can basically meet on common grounds instead of you having to keep this thing inside of you and think about this thing. Maybe you're talking to people, and as you're talking to them, or they're talking to you, you're thinking about this thing that you're not letting out, and you're not even paying attention to them. You're being a douchebag because you're keeping it in. It's like a fart. So much better when you just release it. Just talk about it. Get it out there. Be you. Be your crazy ass self. It feels great. Sometimes you get hurt. I mentioned this the last time too. I've been bleeding all over my daughter lately because we've been children together, and my cuts have been reopening, and so it's been looking horrible. But it's just me trying to save her and then bleeding all over her. One of those classic moments where it's not my blood. It's amazing. I just want to say that I love you because I feel honored, truly, to have these moments with you. It's something that I really treasure, and sometimes I might be tired, I might be having a tough day, whatever it is, but when I come on here, I feel energized and I feel love. Truly. I'm waiting this week. I'm actually waiting for a job offer, and we're going to see how that goes. I figure that if I have to create time, the best way to do that is just to not have all the hats in the business and just go in and have one role in another business doing the same thing that I love to do, so that I can just focus on that one thing that I love to do and actually get more time to do other things as well. So when that happens, the universe is responding in ways that I can't even imagine. And the point to that statement right there is that I actually reached out to 3 people from the community to ask them, what do you think about this? Would you be a reference for me if they ask for references? And they said yes, and they did. And the words that people said have me humbled and warm to my heart and core and fueled to continue this to the day I die. And I'm gonna do whatever I can to smack open the eyes of the people who can't see and try to make sure that people are living the best life they can, because it's possible, because you can do that. This feels like one of those times where a guru would plug their thing, right? So before I go, thefmlproject.com/enter. All right, it's a free thing, completely free. You land on a list where you're going to get some emails telling you exactly what to do in order to create your freedom. That's it. It's not harder than that. I love you, and I'll see you on Thursday, where we're going to go into the whole review of the 100-day challenge. If you want to see something else, tell me, because I know back then I was really boring. I didn't do a lot of things, and some of those videos, when I got demotivated, I didn't do shit. So I was looking at this and just, nah. One of them is actually 5 seconds, and it just says, still counts. So if you want to see something else, if you have any questions, anything, ask them. Go, and you can actually, you can do all of these things. Reach out on YouTube. Send me an email to tor@thefmlproject.com. Don't spam. Go here. Reach out. Ask your questions. See if we can figure out something and create something amazing together. And maybe there's something I didn't consider that I wanted to talk about, and all of a sudden I create something of a more of a thing than a talking head kind of video, and all of a sudden, how many times did I say all of a sudden? We have something cool, because I want this YouTube channel to be a resource for people who needs something, whatever that is. It's like a ticking time bomb. Yes, it is. It is. I like you, Chris. I'm so glad that you found us. All right. I have to go because I promised I was just going to do this for 30 minutes today. Peaking on the 50th minute. Blessing and a curse. To love to talk. But I will see you in the next one. And I hope you're having a fantastic day. Take care of your freaking family, family for life, gangster represent, and all that stuff. Subscribe, share, like. I'm going to do that just before I go. This thing. Do all that stuff because the algorithm actually, it favors the people that it has videos that has likes on them. And I'm trying to fool the algorithm until they just cut me off. See ya.